You are watching the SEC on ESPN. And the folks in Lexington are ringing in the new year inside Rupp Arena. First ever meeting between Brown and Kentucky. And we are glad that you are with us today in Lexington. Happy holidays, happy new year. That is the Women's Basketball Hall of Famer Carolyn Peck, Kevin Fitzgerald with you. All right, so Carolyn, this Kentucky team, they're closing out the non-conference today. After off-season of change, coaching staff-wise, roster personnel-wise, Kentucky finds itself 10-2. Couple of huge wins. They're number 10 in the nation. How have they done it to this point?
Kevin, it's been incredible because Mark Pope, he inherited 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. So what did he do? He went to get experience, and he got players that could score. Over the last 12 games, he's had 5 different leading scorers. They also want to do it shooting the three-point shot. They shoot 36% from the floor. Hit a little hiccup against Ohio State, but in this offseason, Kevin, it wasn't about the offense but the defense, and they're going to have their hands full with Keno Lilly Jr. He is the Iverson of the Ivy. He can shoot the basketball. He is number 2 in three-point percentage in the country, but it's not just a three. He's quick off the bounce as well.
Goes for 20 a game, the Iverson comparison. You are right on it. 7 20-point games this year, and so Kentucky will need to find and locate the explosive scorer. So Brown wins the tap. Again, the first ever meeting between these Brown Bears and the Kentucky Wildcats. As Kentucky closes out its non-conference slate today on this New Year's. Happy New Year, everyone.
On the focus for Kentucky against Brown is ball screen action and defending the drive.
Oh, they can't give it away like that today, but Andrew Carr double dribbled as he was skipping over the timeline there, and so Brown gets a mulligan here 30 seconds into the game. This is the starting 5 for Mike Martin's team. As you have noted, they are led by Lilly. He's second in the league in scoring. He led the Ivy in scoring a year ago. Alex and A.J. Lesbert, I should say, back into the starting lineup, returned from an injury week and a half ago against Kansas.
Well, and Lesbert has the ability to shoot the three and stretch the floor. That will leave lanes for Keno Lilly Jr. to be able to drive as well as manipulate, getting to that second level of the defense.
Brown is a little scrambled here on their second possession. They do keep it and will inbound on the far side of the floor. Carolyn, yes, you heard me right. Their last game against Kansas. So they go back-to-back games at Allen Fieldhouse and Rupp Arena. It's a very historic 2-game stretch. This is Aaron Cooley. He's a double-figure scorer. Can't hit from downtown. New 20 for these Bears. Landon Lewis looking for the cutter. That's off of Cooley's hands. Ball back to Kentucky.
You can keep an eye on the inside battle with Landon Lewis and Amari Williams. And both of these players very active, very athletic in the post. Who is going to win the battle of the glass?
That's a key emphasis today. We heard both coaches earlier today and yesterday mentioned that. So here is Mark Pope's starting 5. Just about everybody in that lineup is a double-figure scorer. Now they're led by number 00. That's Oweh. He's going for 16 a game. Passes it up to Jackson Robinson, and he connects on a straight-on 3.
It is a beautiful thing when Kentucky is able to move the basketball, because all 5 players on the floor, very unselfish but very capable scorers.
And that seems to be the common denominator. Their big wins, they have been high-scoring affairs. They average close to 90 points a game. That's 3rd in the country. Another giveaway, and so that's 3 now for Brown, first couple of minutes of the game.
Carr moving the ball. Oweh willing to make the extra pass, and Jackson next, not Robinson knocking down the 3.
They've got a great assist rate. They've had some high assist numbers this year. That game 10 days ago against Ohio State, bit of an outlier, was not very offensively efficient as a team that day. Lewis got his hand on that Robinson pass, and so the junior from LA starts the break. Now here is Lilly. Carolyn, number 10 in the Brown uniform, again averages 20 a game. A bucket getter, especially from deep. There's Cooley with the left hand.
Well, Brown understands the amount of attention that's going to be paid to Lilly Jr., so Cooley's got to get going for the Bears.
And so there are his numbers. He's averaging 12, 13 points per game. Can he continue to play well in his career here? So that's the second time, by the way, Lewis has gotten his hands in the passing lane there. The foul is going to give Brown possession here in the front court. So there is the winningest coach in Brown men's basketball history. 13 years now at the helm. He is so committed to delivering an Ivy championship to his alma mater, where he nearly won one 20 years ago.
You know, you got that little extra pride when you're now coaching the school where you played.
He has been there a long time in Providence. This is Cooley, turns the corner, blocks. That was Amari Williams. And then Andrew Carr draws the foul on Brown. Amari Williams, the shot block leader for Kentucky. Ricochet that one off the glass.
Yeah, what Mark Pope wanted to do was keep pressure on the perimeter without giving up that interior defense, and Amari Williams, perfect timing.
Kentucky, a very good shot blocking team, as they usually are year after year. Top 35 of the nation this season. Kentucky, that 10-2 record, it is a fine non-conference slate for this Wildcats team. Butler goes up, couldn't get it to go. Good pressure at the rim that time from Brown. And it's going to go back here to the Wildcats after they lost the handle in the backcourt. But a 10-2 start for Mark Pope in his first season back at his alma mater. Won the national championship, that vaunted 96 team, and basically the whole roster was future NBA pros. A very charismatic, intellectual 52-year-old has done a great job right out of the gate here. After the miss, here comes Brown. Oh, great find. Lilly, oh, the block at the rim. Lewis had that one pinned off the glass. Williams had a beat on it the whole way.
Amari Williams has been huge on the interior for the Wildcats. I mean, sprinting back in transition, recovers from behind, and pins it to the glass. Wow.
The ice got big on that one. An emphatic rejection. Williams has averaged 1 or 2 blocks a game. And so he's got 2 in the first 4 minutes.
Mont Butler's doing a nice job staying with Lilly Jr.
Robinson got his hands on that one. It's a 3-on-2. Jackson Robinson fouled. And they whistle Lindell Errold for the personal. He doesn't love it. Robinson should be at the line here. Kentucky ahead by 1.
Both of these teams have had a concentration and focus on the defensive side of the ball. Neither team has gotten anything easy.
Well, they each got beat bad, I suppose, in their latest game before the holiday break. Kentucky coming off the 20-point loss to Ohio State. That was 10 days ago. Brown, in the midst of a 2-game stretch against 2 of the greatest programs of all time, allowed 87 points in that loss to Kansas 10 days ago as well.
You know, Brown is picked in the preseason 3rd in the Ivy League, so they will be very well tested as they continue into league play.
It does seem like Martin and his staff, they've got a strong roster, especially led by this man, Lilly. So Robinson has all 4 of Kentucky's points. And so Tega Oweh has drawn the Lilly assignment, though they whistle away for the hand check that time. So it takes us to a timeout where Kentucky has got a 4-2 lead in their final non-conference game of the season. Was on that 2003 NIT team, was a very good era of Brown ball.
Well, Mark Pope was a captain for his team. He brought a lot of leadership, and Mike Martin for Brown, he will tell you he was the 5th option of the starting 5 for the Brown Bears, but he also was a coach on the floor. Leadership quality.
I'd be very curious. Their coaching styles are both impactful but unique at the same time. There's Keno Lilly on the backdoor cut.
That was Keno Lilly's first field goal attempt. Got to +4 minutes into the game before he got that one.
Well, who's been drawing the Lily assignment in the early goings?
Well, it's been Butler, and then it's also been Oweh. Very, very physical and keeping up with the speed of Lily Jr.
Oweh just misfired from distance. And so Brown back on this end of the floor. A lot of cutting, a lot of motion, a lot of action, passes. They'll use up a decent bit of the shot clock. Oh, nice cut to the rib. That was Lewis. You know, the versatile big man from LA has had a really fine start to the season, going for 14 a game.
Landon Lewis, and he's ambidextrous, so he's hard to guard as a post because he can finish with either hand.
This has been his breakout season by far. Robinson underneath, so a good start for Jackson Robinson, the veteran from Ada, Oklahoma. He's got all 6 of Kentucky's points.
Ball screen defense is something for Kentucky keeping an eye on. You know, Lily was able to get free the previous possession, and I'm sure that's something that Mark Pope really wants to focus on. That's a back door there, so instead of coming off the handoff, he rejected that screen, and then in the ball screen, the commitment. Post comes over, he's a willing passer.
Butler into the front court, finds Robinson, he wants the 3. Nice strong rebound. Brea Garrison was in the right spot. Andrew Carr draws the foul. And so the savvy big man from Pennsylvania headed to the free throw line, looking to give Kentucky the early edge.
When you look at the height of Kentucky, they are able to just dominate, should be able to dominate on the offensive glass, create those second opportunities.
Well, they're top 40 in the nation, and not just total rebounds, but the rebound margin as well. And so 10 days removed from that loss to Ohio State, you've hit on a couple of things. Maybe just the work on the glass, some of the defensive corrections and adjustments they want to make here to close out non-conference play. Very critical before they open up against Florida next week.
And it hasn't just been physical work as far as getting bodies in the right place of movement, but Mark Pope also talked about communication. They've got to talk to each other, and that's key in ball screen defense.
That chemistry is strong, but it can only get better. 12 newcomers, including 9 first-year transfers in the first year of this new era of Kentucky ball. So Robinson picks up his first personal. So Brown has done a pretty good job of drawing a couple of early Kentucky fouls, and Landon Lewis heads to the free throw line. All right, so what are you putting your money on here? Right hand, left hand?
Well, he has switched. He switched from shooting with his left from last season. This is the first year that he's shooting his free throw with his right hand.
Now, he's right around 50%, but Carolyn, he's shooting more. He's getting to the line a lot more than a year ago. He's playing a career-high minutes. He has been very critical to their 7-3 start, okay, after the loss to Kansas. Now they're sitting there at 7-4. That 7-3 start, best 10-game start to a season more than 20 years. And so Lewis has had to be very big, considering the absence of their all-conference big man, Nana Owusu-Anane, who's out for the year.
Yeah, Owusu-Anane had to have shoulder surgery, so he will not return this season. Has already announced he's in the portal because he can't have that 5th year at Brown in the Ivy.
Now he's got to get the degree, smart man, and then he'll have one more season next year. Robinson gets past Errold, shovels to Carr. That one is down. Difficult make. So Carr has 4. Robinson's got the 6 other Kentucky points. Lily on the baseline, was looking for the backdoor cut. Luckily was able to reach out and snag that pass. This is Cooley, not that time. And Robinson has it. Kentucky looking to settle into a rhythm on this end of the floor. They have won some high-scoring games. Scored 93 against their in-state rival Louisville. Scored 90 against Gonzaga, that overtime win. Here's Garrison.
Number 7 in white. That's the shot that Mark Pope wants to take. Needs Andrew Carr to take and make more threes. He has been 0 for 5 in the last 5 games from taking a three. A couple of those games, he didn't even look at it. That's a good sign of the work put in on the break.
And now it's a 9-1 Kentucky run. Carr with 7. Keno Lilly trying to get some separation on the pull-up, bounces it down. Famara Dabo back out to Errold. Errold with the left hand, couldn't hit the leaner. Second chance, blocked, erased by Carr. An easy block for the big man.
I would check number 7 in white again. With the help in the paint, Carr's got to at least look at the basket.
This is Kobe Brea. He's the marksman from off the bench. SEC's most accurate three-point shooter misfires on his first look. Dabo had it stripped away, stays here with Brown when we return. And so Carr has 7 of Kentucky's 13. Nice start for number 7.
You put in that work over the Christmas break. Andrew Carr said, you want me to shoot it? Why not? The Wildcats, they need more of that.
They were mere seconds away from winning their first Ivy League title and going to the NCAA tournament for the first time in almost 40 years. They fell short at the end of last season against Yale. They have turned around and started 7-3, best 10-game start in more than 20 years. That is thanks in large part due to Keno Lilly returning for his senior season. The Ivy League's leading scorer from a year ago has picked up right where he left off.
Well, and Keno Lilly Jr. averages making 4 threes a game. So far, Kentucky has kept him from any three-point attempts so far in this first half.
Well, you were on it. What does it take? Just the one shot. He did make that at the rim. But another giveaway that has plagued Brown in the early minutes. 7 turnovers, only 8 minutes in. That is too many. There's Kentucky's leading scorer. The junior from Newark, New Jersey, is on the board now. He's gone for 16 a game. He's just been much more efficient than a season ago at Oklahoma. You saw the field goal percentage, 50% from the floor. And so this 11-1 run, it continues for the Wildcats in Lexington. Lewis, that's good. So Landon Lewis has 5.
But the key to that is the willingness to pass. And at times, Lilly Jr. is a little too unselfish. But I like his little drop pocket passes that he's making. He's delivering it. Now just Brown can finish.
Amari Williams, a freight train, by the way, into the front court. So the 5th-year senior from England is at the line.
Williams at the line for 2.
And now can this be a problem? Landon Lewis has picked up his 2nd foul. Remember, again, in that Kansas game, Brown was hanging around early in that first half, but when he had to go to the bench, that's when Kansas was able to take over.
It was a 10-point game at the break. They ultimately lost by 34. So let's take a moment to remind you, today at 4 we have the vintage Big 12 battle. Arizona State, BYU over on ESPN2. And so we'll see how Mark Pope's former employer fares in their Big 12 opener today. He left that program in very good shape, didn't he? Great 5-year run, 4 20-win seasons.
Got a top recruit coming in.
Yeah. Things are good, all well in Provo. Our friends Roxy Bernstein, Sean Farnham have that one for you. Amari Williams, the takeaway, who's there? Butler goes up, fouled. So Williams, sensing he was falling out of bounds, just had to fling it back, and Butler ran the floor.
You gotta love the effort by the big man. Run down an errant pass, the presence of mind to save it back in before it goes out of bounds. Look at this extra effort. Going after it. That 50-50 ball had no chance but to go to Kentucky, and then Butler able to get to the free throw line.
So Williams has got the 2 blocks. You know, he's averaged about a steal a game, so he has been very successful there. Meanwhile, Lamont Butler is at the line, and you saw immediately just the recognition from the crowd there for the effort. They love it. And that's 5 Kentucky steals now, not even halfway through this first. 10-point lead as the run continues.
Practice yesterday, as Mark Pope was coaching his team, Kevin, you just heard the word love, because he would find things that his team did well and he would point out individually, I love this, I love the 2 feet, I love the rotation. And that's what makes players want to repeat that action.
New 20 here for Brown after the miss. And that was something, you don't hear that often. Maybe.
You know, sometimes you hear the coach's voice when it's a negative or when you do
Right.
something wrong. You hear Mark Pope's voice as loud, if not louder, when they do things right.
Lewis spin cycle. So Landon Lewis with 7, averaging 14 a game in his breakout season. Well, it does seem like this crop of players, these 12 newcomers, all coming together in the offseason here at Kentucky after the changes, they have responded undoubtedly to Pope's that encouraging, that supportive, yet still holding his players accountable sort of a thing. Boy, Williams stuffed at the rim. He is down on the floor, getting to his feet right now. Lilly is wide open and buries the triple. First 3 for Keno Lilly, and so Brown gets it done in transition.
Well, that's to speed the tempo up would be to Brown's advantage. But back to what you were talking about, Kevin, there are 6 players for these Wildcats with 5-year experience.
Almonor buries the 3 off the bench. The 6'7" senior's got a versatile game. He can hit that 3 with regularity. It's an 8-point lead now for Kentucky. Carolyn, they're 3 of 7 from distance to start. Lewis, he's so active, but he got rejected there by Brea. And now Kentucky has the numbers.
Yeah, Brea, he's a shooter as well. 51% from the 3-point line.
Almonor couldn't hit it a second time. Lilly, crossover, behind the back, the 3 is up, it's offline, stays here. New 20 for Brown.
But can't you see the similarity to Iverson and Keno Lilly Jr.?
He is athletic, quick, shifty. Mike Martin said it yesterday. I really haven't coached a player with that uncanny kind of speed, quickness, all rolled into one.
Let me give you the best description. That young man, he's got that bounce.
Yes. Can Brown string a couple of baskets together here? Their first ever trip inside Rupp Arena. Cooley is open. The lefty wants it. Offline. And Robinson has it. This elusive meeting between Kentucky and Brown, by the way. Kentucky has played every other Ivy League team. Of course, first ever meeting here against Brown. This is Oweh, left it short. Defended that time by Cooley, who got a hand in the face. And now Lilly is on the move. Keno Lilly, bounce pass. Just a bit behind Dabo, wasn't quite looking for it. And so the turnover gives it back to the Wildcats.
That's an area where I think Lilly could have looked to score first. He's looking to pass when he gets into the paint. He's got to make himself more of an option. And Mike Martin told us sometimes he's a little too unselfish.
Well, it's interesting for someone who scores 20 a game. It's almost odd to hear that. That's a great example. Can you be a bit more aggressive when your team needs it? They're down 8 right now. Colin Chandler and Travis Perry are into the game. They're both getting a lot more run with Kriisa still sidelined. Their backup ball handler. Kriisa had that foot surgery a few weeks ago. Almonor in the corner again. He's liked that spot. Malcolm Risby Jefferson across half court. Bounce pass, Dabo at good position. Famara Dabo, the sophomore from Guinea, has got his first basket. Back to a 6-point game.
Brown got away with Landon Lewis playing, even though he had those 2 fouls. Now for Dabo to come in, he's bringing even a stronger presence inside.
That's a foul on Errold, and that is the senior's second. Kentucky has it when we come back.
Dabo inside positioning, gets the offense on his hip and gets the finish. Big presence inside for the Brown Bears right now, down 6.
how has Kentucky handled Keno Lilly Jr. so far?
Well, they've run him off the three-point line. They've sent him into the paint, but now that he's getting in the paint, he's a willing passer. He has a couple of assists, but he's got to look to score as well. Even though he's inside the three-point line, he's got to be that threat. He's got to take a couple of those short twos inside.
He's got the 5 points. He's only taken those 4 shots, but he does have a couple of dimes as well. You know, this coaching staff, they really laud his ability, the senior from Glendale, Maryland, to always make the right play. It's amazing. 20-point score. He led the Ivy in scoring a year ago, but he really is a very instinctual player out there.
Well, he's got a high basketball IQ, high in the classroom as well. His mom's an engineer. He said, oh yeah, my parents always instilled the importance of academics. That's why a player of this caliber is playing at Brown.
Andrew Carr, second look, got it to go, and the foul. Andrew Carr is headed back to the free throw line where he's got a chance to get into double figures here in the first.
I love Andrew Carr's energy and the versatility inside and out. Doesn't shy away from the physicality, delivers it at times.
The savvy veteran stretch big. Last 2 years at Wake Forest, this season averaging 11 and 6. You know, Mark Pope jokes he's kind of the dad of the group, very much one of the leaders. That one's out of bounds. Ball back to Kentucky.
Brown bringing a little full court pressure.
Yeah, they're trying to flip their fortune. They've turned it over 10 times now. That's abnormal for this group. They only average about 11 or 12 giveaways a game. I mean, 10 at this point. There's Perry, wide open, steps back, and hits the three. Travis Perry.
Just his second 3 on the season. There's more of that to come.
Well, he won a state title in this building back in the last winter. And so here he is knocking down a triple against Brown today. Gets a hand in Errold's face. He's way off on the 3. And Kentucky can push. So with Lamont Butler still on the bench, Perry initiating some of the offense. Here's Colin Chandler. Chandler finds Carr, the 3, down and out.
Hey, but Kevin, what I love about it, no hesitation.
Yep.
He caught that thing in the corner and let it fly.
So he's taken he's taken the 2 today, hit 1 earlier. And so Carr has the 9, leading the way for Kentucky. Chandler takes it away. Colin Chandler blocked though. Cooley gets back. Here's the man he took it away from. And Cooley recovers really well that time. Chandler maybe a little too nonchalant, perhaps, that time on the take in. Risby Jefferson's 3 is short. He's got it here. It's a number of offensive rebounds for Brown. They've actually got 6 of them. So 4 more than Kentucky. They've gotten some second opportunities. Risby Jefferson bounces that pass. Carr knocks it away. 5 on the timer. So Lespert back on the floor now for the Bears, as is Lilly.
Now the most dangerous man on the floor for Brown is inbounding. Look for it to go right back to him. You got to find him.
Backdoor cut, and there's another giveaway. You know, Kentucky has got a couple of steals, yes. Probably one too many just unforced Brown mistakes here on this end of the floor.
The thing that Kentucky has done, though, is they've put length on Keno Lilly. You look at Jackson Robinson, the height advantage that he has, and then arms, hands in the passing lane.
So Mike Martin has just put Landon Lewis back on the floor. You mentioned he's got the 2 fouls. How about 13 points off of those turnovers? So Kentucky has cashed in thanks to its pressure. Andrew Carr trying to take Cooley off the bounce. Carr got it! And the foul! Looking for another 3-point play.
It's a grown man move by Andrew Carr. He catches it on the perimeter, and then keeps the balance, goes off 2 feet. That's something Mark Pope preached constantly yesterday, is 2 feet power plays of what he's looking for, and Andrew Carr delivered.
You know, we talked a lot about just the adjustments and the changes you make after a loss like 10 days ago against Ohio State. And we've seen a lot more aggression from Andrew Carr, maybe one of those adjustments. Largest lead in this first half, it's a 14-point advantage.
Listen, when you hit a bump in the road, like your game against Ohio State, you want that to happen in November or December, not happening in February and March, so that you can correct some things and have your team be able to respond and grow.
Ohio State did a lot of good things well 10 days ago at Madison Square Garden. It felt like in a lot of ways that was a really off Kentucky night. There's Lilly playing off 1 foot that time. So Keno Lilly has 7. Remember the double-double he had a few weeks ago? Brown, their biggest win was against Rhode Island. They beat him in overtime. He had 23 and 10 in that game, Lilly did. Brea leaves it short, tap back, but it's recovered by the Bears. And so they want to get it back to single digits here, coming up on the 4-minute mark in this first half. Lewis back out, 3 in the air. That one is pure. So Aiden Uchidiono carries the 3 here with less than 4 to play. Butler, straight line drive, and look who it is with the rejection on this end of the floor. The sophomore from Ontario, Uchidiono with the 3, and then the stuff. Whoa.
Uchidiono bringing it for Brown, trying to get the Bears back in this, bringing the extra effort as they're down 9. Bears, who is almost averaging a double-double, almost 18 points a game, almost 10 rebounds a game.
We see the top 10 on the women's side AP poll. You look at the new #1 in town. When you take down the defending champs, got a nice head-to-head win against Dawn Staley's Gamecocks.
Look, that was
a no-brainer.
His first game of the season. I'd be looking forward to a possible rematch in the tournament between UCLA and South Carolina. Could happen.
You know how the brackets sometimes shake out that way. Andrew Carr, by the way, has been very aggressive. Carr is going back to the free throw line. Boy, a noticeable assertiveness from Carr today.
Another one of those power plays that Mark Pope wants from his Wildcats. Andrew Carr, it's not, a lot of times when you tell your team, you tell a player you want them to shoot more threes, they'll stand outside the three-point line. Andrew Carr said, but I can still do what I do in the paint.
Fifth-year senior from Westchester, Pennsylvania. He was maybe the most impactful and versatile transfer that Mark Pope and the staff signed. Here is the bad news for Mike Martin's team. That's the 3rd foul on their very versatile big man, an impactful big man, Landon Lewis. So he now has to take a seat once again. So it is a smaller Brown lineup right now. Dabo comes to set the screen for Lilly. Martin leaves Uchidiono out there, by the way, who just nailed his first 3 of the season. Williams lost the handle, and so a new 20 once again. We've said that a lot in this first half for Brown.
The battle for those 50-50 balls, especially when Brown is on the offensive end, they've been winning that.
Cooley inbounds. Lilly defended by the longer Robinson, working around the screen, but picks up the dribble. So for Lilly, just 7 points in this first half. 3 of 6 from the floor. Oh, has his pocket picked. Butler, the veteran, took it away. Knocked out by Lilly, so a nice recovery in transition by the Bears.
Lamont Butler, I think he is one of the top defenders, guard defenders in the SEC, if not the country.
Well, you see there in the bottom right, where it was on that Final Four team at San Diego State 2 years ago, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Kobe Brea, only a matter of time before he connected on his first from distance.
His shot is textbook. I mean, beautiful. Line it up, body straight up and down. That is just pretty.
Lespert way off, tried to follow his miss. Brea was open there for a moment on the run out. Butler now slows it down. Well, here's Brea, better than 50% from distance this year. Lob it to Williams. Dabo tried to read that one, draws the foul. At least he prevents the easy lay-in.
Yeah,
so that sends Williams to the line.
That pass was a little bit short. When you're throwing it to Williams, you got to put it up around the rim. You don't want to leave any room for error.
So Williams, he's one of maybe a dozen players born in England that are playing in the college game. Really skilled big man. Carolyn is averaging just about a double-double, about 10 points a game. Third in the league with 9 rebounds a game. Shot blocker, good distributor, really versatile player.
Well-deserved preseason Kareem Abdul-Jabbar watch list pick.
Basically left Drexel as one of their better big men in program history, 4 years there. And so he, just like many of the other first-year transfers, they come here with maybe 1 or 2 years of eligibility left. That's it. They're trying to get on the same page, do something special this season. Shitty by the way, it draws another foul on Oweh. That's his second.
Kentucky and the transfers that Mark Pope really had to resort to bringing in. A lot of times players enter the portal because they want to go to a program where they're the man. Well, it's been the maturity of those fifth-year seniors fifth-year players that have come in, and they have really embraced the importance of chemistry in playing team basketball. And if you move the ball will find you. They just have totally bought in to how Mark Pope wants them to play.
Kentucky and the transfers. It could be like a comedy group or something like that. Well, Mark Pope has talked about it. They all really have, he has said on a number of occasions, just an insane passion to win. How about our man Adrian Uchidiyuno, who scored his first points of the season a few moments ago when he hit the 3, earns himself a trip to the free throw line. And so in just his 4th game of the season, coming from deep down Mike Martin's bench, he's got 4 here.
But he brought the effort in practice yesterday, and I think that energy will get you minutes.
It translates. So a 5-point first half for the sophomore from Ontario. So Brown, a week and a half ago in the loss to Kansas, it was an 11-point game at the break, so it was manageable. You would think would love to get it back to single digits or a similar mark here against the 10th-ranked Kentucky team. Brea, no. Williams got his hands on it, then lost it. Lilly tried to kick it. Well, luckily for him, he missed, and so no kickball call. Here's Brown with 1:50 to go. Lilly's got it. Over to Uchidiyuno. Got the mismatch. Much larger Williams shadowing him. That's an offensive foul. Illegal screen there on Uchidiyuno. That was an easy one. He was trying to target Butler. And so ball back to the Wildcats.
I think Uchidiyuno, he forgot that he had to down screen for Lilly Jr. And that's being a sophomore, inexperienced. But you got to know where your scorer is and free him up.
Butler dragged the pivot foot, so the rare Kentucky giveaway. The disparity here on the turnovers really lopsided in favor of the Wildcats. That's just their 4th turnover. Meanwhile, they have forced 14 Brown giveaways in this first half. They did a solid job taking care of the ball, relatively speaking, against Kansas. Only had 9 in that game, so 14 today, that is no good. And it partly explains the 14-point deficit. 1:10 to go in the first. Final non-conference game of the year for Kentucky before it plays Florida in 4 days. Out of bounds. They're going to have to reset the shot clock because Brown will have it here with maybe, three or 4 on the timer. Shot clock kept running. I was going to say 2. You gave me the 3 fingers, so I'm going with your 3.
Yeah, you said 3 to 4. I think it was 3 to 2.
All right, I'm going with the over then. Is that what it was? I have it confused. I'm going the over. You taking the under. 1:01 to go in this first half.
But it has been the Kentucky defense that has been the primary asset to the offense of Kentucky. They have 19 points off of those 14 turnovers by the Bears.
They have gotten out and ran, and they have gotten to the free throw line as well. They're 12 of 14 at the line. So Doug Shows, Owen Short, and Jerry Heater, those are our officials today. And Doug, our crew chief, is over at the monitor with the extra look here on the official review.
But I got to believe that Brown will not have Lilly Jr. taking the ball out. He needs to be an option on the floor because it's going to be a short clock. 1.1 seconds.
1:03 on the game clock and 1.7 on the shot clock. The ball on the baseline.
So 1.7 seconds. If there's anybody I want to get the ball to, that's number 10 in black.
Lilly in this first half has taken 6 shots. He's 3 of 6 from the floor. But one of the nation's leading scorers has certainly received a whole lot of attention. So now Mike Martin will diagram something here with just the 1.7 to go.
You can use Lilly Jr., little back screen action, maybe bringing Dabo hard to the basket, make the defense sink, and then possibly find your shooter, your best three-point shooter, number 10, Keno Lilly Jr.
It's been a most unique week and a half, I should say, for this Brown program. They play at Kansas 10 days ago. They're at Kentucky. You play at 2 venues that basically are 2 of the greatest home court advantages in college basketball history. And as you see, Mike Martin always challenges his team in the non-conference. Played at Duke, North Carolina, Michigan State in the past.
Lilly
So
Jr. out of bounds.
he inbounds it to Cooley. Quick pass to Chidiuno. Offline. Another offensive board. Dabo has been aggressive on the offensive glass. Lespert eyes up, looking for somebody. Improvising now. Banks it in. So the old school bank shot off the glass. That's Lespert's first bucket. 12-point game with 40 to go. Williams all the way.
And one of the things Mark Pope has got to discuss in the locker room at halftime is the glass. Brown out-rebounding Kentucky 21-10.
It's plus 11. Wait, 8 offensive rebounds as well. About a 5.5-second differential between shot and game clock. So Lilly lets it dwindle. Here comes Lespert to set the screen. And it's Brea who now switches on to Lilly. Couple of crossovers between the legs, high off the glass. That is Iverson style right there. 2 seconds here. Carr with the heave. Look out. And it's a 12-point lead for Kentucky after 20 minutes in their non-conference finale.
Well, the thing that Kentucky has done well is they bought the pressure defensively. They've been able to really run Keno Lilly Jr. off the three-point line, but they've got to clean up those areas in the paint when they're getting out-rebounded by 11.
39-27 our score after 20. And so Kentucky already with one more triple in this first half than they had against Ohio State 10 days ago. So Kevin Connors and Seth Greenberg will talk to you on the other side. Halftime in Lexington. Happy holidays, everyone, and Happy New Year. Everyone, New Year's Eve here in Lexington, where Kentucky has gone on a quick 5-0 burst right out of the gate here in the second half. So it leads by 17. You know, a whole lot of veteran, seasoned leadership for this Kentucky rotation. These were the 5 transfers that Mark Pope brought in. They're all 22 and up. If you look at the ages of Kentucky's last 4 NBA draft choices, they're older than all 4 of them.
Well, and to put it in perspective, when Kentucky played Duke, Duke's oldest player was still not as old as the youngest of the starters for Kentucky.
Come on.
Oh, yeah. Maturity. And the thing that Mark Pope, I said, what are you looking for when you bring these players in? I said if there were one thing, and he said deciders. These are players who can make good decisions. And I think that's why the offense has worked so well for the Wildcats.
Well, Carr stripped it away that time from Cooley. The run out, Williams! He was able to readjust in midair. And they're getting closer, by the way, that duo. We'll get the alley-oop here.
But do you look at and see how much fun they're having together? They're wanting to. These players want to make each other look good.
12 newcomers, that's 12 first-year players. Most of them are the transfers. That triple is down for Aaron Cooley, so that's his first from distance. And so, Carolyn, with that many fresh faces at a premier power program like Kentucky, you really have to buy into that, call it in it together sort of chemistry. Oweh just barreled right through Lilly. He put his shoulder down, and so it's a painful foul drawn by Lilly.
But you've got to have players that are willing to play well with others, and it's a chemistry thing too, and talent-wise, you can't just look at the numbers. A lot of times coaches look at what were you ranked? Were you a McDonald's? There's only one McDonald's All-American on this team. So it's not the rankings, but what fits in the system and what will fit well as a group.
And Pope and his staff, they have certainly lauded that camaraderie. They want it to keep growing like any staff would. There's a tie-up. Possession arrow favors Kentucky. Andrew Carr on the floor, one of those first-year transfers.
But the chemistry, and a lot of that has been driven by the fifth years.
Yeah.
That are the things that they do off the court.
Carr's one of them.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of those leaders.
And the experiences they've had together. They go bowling together. They've been able to, when they were in New York, they went to go see Hampton.
Yep.
They also went to the Martin Luther King Jr. Museum together. So they got shared experiences off the court as well as on.
That stuff is critical as a season plays out. How about the feathery touch that time by Amari Williams, who's into double figures with 10.
Look, and coming down the floor, Amari Williams said, my fault. He scored because he passed up. He could have made that pass to Carr. Carr said, hey, no problem. You go take care of business inside.
And it speaks further to your point about it's not solely about the type of basketball player you're getting out of the portal. It's not just about the stats. What sort of person is that player behind the scenes as well? That of course, is critical to boosting that chemistry after the Lilly jumper. Lamont Butler there was getting hounded in the backcourt. He finally gets it across maybe a second before the 10-second count. And he says, well, why the heck not? I'm just going to take it the whole way. So it takes us to a timeout. Kentucky has stretched its lead to a game-high 20.
And the timeout on the floor.
Kentucky has stretched its lead over Brown to 20. It's a game-high lead for the Wildcats.
Well, as much as Brown wants to pick up the intensity on the defensive end, you'll see Cooley, oh yeah, he punches it away from Lamont Butler. But Butler's like, okay, you don't want to mess with me like that. I mean, just gives a little show and go, and the finish. This is determination at the rim. The point guard for Kentucky. Just too much.
At that point, just get out of his way, taking it in, determined at that point. Lamont Butler, fifth-year senior from Moreno Valley, California. And he is very quickly displayed his array of abilities. He's certainly one of the better point guards in this league. Top 10 in assists and assist-to-turnover rate, more importantly.
How about that game he had against Louisville? Perfect 10 for 10 from the floor, 6 for 6 from the three-point line.
Yeah, he had this place ready to explode a couple of weeks ago.
And that's after he had to sit for 2 games with a little lower leg situation.
Yep. 33, a career high, and you do it against the program's arch rival. He's trying to go with a backdoor cut there. Garrison back out to Brea with 2. Brea fouled by Errold, and he definitely got the arm. Third foul on Lindell Errold. And so Brea going to the free throw line for a pair, where he rarely has made visits to start this season, but now he's at the line. The marksman.
Brea at the
When
line.
you shoot the three at a 51% clip,
Yeah.
why go inside? It's
know-
like a free throw for him from the three-point line.
You don't have to. So he spends the last 4 years playing for Anthony Grant. A lot of folks around this league know that name. At Dayton, he was oft injured. Suffered a couple of injuries that derailed a couple of his seasons, but there was one thing that always stayed true, and that was he was a bona fide perimeter threat. Career shooting percentage about 43% from distance. So over a long period of time, that is a wonderful rate, and he cans all three here.
Look, this is a two-time Six-Man of the Year in the A-10, and this is a player that can dissect your defense. So as he was coming in off the bench, he was recognizing where his opportunities were going to be.
It's a foul before that pass. Again, Mark Pope and the staff, they were able to be, he used the word selective. We could be very selective about the type of player and skills that we were searching for here. Because when they took the job, there was two players, two walk-ons that came back. That was Grant Darbyshire and Walker Horn. Those were the only two that were there. That three is good. So Brown gets it back to a 20-point game. But they had to be very selective.
Well, when Mark Pope said that, look, he looked at the skill sets of the players he was trying to recruit. Then once he got the players, he had to simplify the playbook, but he had deciders, so that allows him to now stretch the playbook as the season progresses.
Oweh, this is a long two, sticks that jumper. Oweh now into double figures. Every single game he has scored 10 or more, and so that holds true today.
Oweh plays so hard. He's just explosive on both sides of the ball. You saw that. He forced that turnover.
Hey, Carolyn, you know better than just about anyone there. I mean, it is difficult to get everybody on the same page. It's not easy. You've got to have the right array of players. You need to have the willingness. They've clearly been able to have some success with this formula in the non-conference.
You find that out in recruiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are honest with the players you're recruiting. You require them to be honest with you, understanding the expectations you have for them coming in, so you're not trying to fix that or change that once they come into your program.
Oweh from 15, left it short. Perry back on the floor, goes up. Oweh couldn't tap it back in. A lot of activity at the rim. Lilly shovels to Lesbert, could hit this one, and that was his cleanest look from distance, and A.J. Lesbert connects.
The one thing Kentucky cannot do is start clock watching, because very capable scorers on this Brown Bear team.
Brea wants another. That's strong. And Famara Dabo got his hands on it. Almonor is wide open there after the scramble. Kentucky pouring it on now, back up by 21. This high-scoring Kentucky attack. They've gone over 100 points several times this season. Matter of fact, they've done it 4 times. All right, here's could be a little showtime. Dabo smacked that alley-oop pass away, but Oweh was in the right spot. He's got 13.
We talked about the 6 fifth-year players, but what Mark Pope also did is he went out and tried to get 2 of everything. 2 point guards, 2 shooting guards, 2 threes, 4s, and 5s, so that he has the depth to be able to play this up-tempo basketball.
2 of everything.
It's kind of like knowing the art.
Yeah, rotation of biblical proportions, perhaps. Not a bad game plan if you get 2 of everything. Pope there to Oweh at a quick word. Mark Pope, he has been very committed, of course, to the suit and tie look as well this year. We got the suit and tie back on the sidelines.
You know what I like about Mark Pope is he doesn't take anything for granted,
Yep.
and he preaches gratitude and being so appreciative of opportunities that he has been given, experiences that he has, and I think the suit and tie also shows a respect to the game.
Yeah. We're starting to see more jackets reappear on the sidelines. The post-COVID world of college basketball. Almonor draws the foul there. And so the senior from Spring Valley, New York, heads to the free throw line. He's 5 successful years at BYU. And remember, when he took over, he was replacing a legend in his own right. That was David Rose. And so many successful years. Coach Rose at the helm. Pope takes over. Several 20-win seasons. A couple of NCAA tournament appearances. This his 10th year as a head coach, and the first, of course, back at his alma mater.
When you talk to Mark Pope, he is a man of analytics. And it's not just a matter of rolling out the floor ball and saying, my team's stronger than yours, my team, I think they can shoot better than you. But he has broken down analytically and specific areas of the game, like the 2 feet power plays in the paint. How many points he has given up, because they've given up 100 points to Power 5 teams in ball screen action. Like, he's breaking down that minute detail of the game.
I think the line of the day earlier when he was breaking down Keno Lilly Jr.'s game was the math is all there to show us how he is going to try to break us down.
Well, he knew the percentages.
Joe Mazzulla of him.
Yeah, he knew the percentages of Keno Lilly, of what he shot from the 3, what he shot inside the 2. That's why it was so important to run him off the 3-point line.
Well, the formula, the calculus is right today for Kentucky once again. 24-point lead, their largest of the afternoon on New Year's Eve. Landon Lewis, the junior from Los Angeles, he has been very versatile, very impactful this year for Brown.
Well, he's got 7 points and 5 rebounds on today. He struggled a little bit with some foul trouble. I mean, he's got to be able to stay on the floor. But you know what? He gets it honest. His dad's a coach.
That's right. Son of a coach. Spent many years coaching in the college game, but just recently added to Becky Hammond's staff in Vegas, WNBA side.
Yeah, Larry Lewis had 19 years as a pro player. He's coached in the G League, NCAA for UC Santa Barbara. And he's tremendous at player development. And Becky Hammond was excited to bring him in on her staff with Las Vegas as they chase yet another WNBA championship.
Yeah, it's a great asset to have on the staff there. So, son of a coach, I should say. Lewis has broken out this year. This is undoubtedly his career year. Now, he has been called upon with Nana Owusu-Anane out for the rest of the year to now take on a larger role, to step into a starting role. Their starting front court from a year ago that took them to the precipice of an Ivy League championship, they're gone, not just considering the injury. Kaluanya's transferred to St. Louis.
Lewis will be a force to reckon with in the Ivy League. This is a player, like I said, ambidextrous, can finish with his left, right hand, tremendous energy, works the glass.
He'll likely be, to your point, one of the more skilled big men in the Ivy this year. He's top 10 in everything right now. Points, rebounds, blocks, field goal percentage. And so you'll have a chance to talk with Dad on a number of occasions this upcoming season. Robinson at the rim. That's Jackson Robinson. So we're talking to Mike Martin. And by the way, it is Martin and Co. It's the whole Martin family that made the trip to Rupp Arena. Mike, of course, the 04 alum. He was on that 2003 team, won 20-plus games. It was one of the better eras in Brown basketball history. His wife played soccer. So Kristen is here at the practice yesterday. Not only that, he's got his 3 girls.
I'm going to tell you, his 3 daughters, they came over. They recognized me because they watch women's basketball. I love that. When you're a ball player and you watch the game, means you want to learn the game. His 3 daughters, Kiara, Tegan, and Avery, and they've got their favorite players. They love Caitlin Clark. They love Asia Wilson. So I'm so excited. Their knowledge of the game, it's when you're the daughters of a coach and you're just entrenched in it. They were out here shooting baskets.
Yeah.
And I said, now one of you is left-handed. And they were like, no, they were just working on their left hand. I said, well, it's working out pretty well because I couldn't tell that you're not left-handed.
The daughters of a coach indeed, always working on the little nuances, the fundamentals. Oh, Brea, yeah, great backdoor cut around the screen that time. So Kobe Brea with now 8. Well, they made sure, of course, Providence, a relatively short drive from Central Connecticut. They made sure to be in the building there. What was it? Mid-May.
Well, yeah, for
Caitlin Clark's
for her debut against the Connecticut Sun.
Kentucky has stretched this now to a 29-point advantage, 9:52 to go.
And they've scored a lot of points off turnovers, but they also, in the half court, when they're scoring the baskets, so they have 13 assists on 22 made field goals. And in that Ohio State game, they were uncharacteristically out of sync offensively. When they got behind, some players took some contested shots or they passed up shots they should have taken. Ooh!
Yeah, there's Lewis.
But much improved, and you can tell the work that Kentucky's put in over the holiday break.
.9:30 to go in this New Year's Eve battle between Kentucky and Brown. These two programs had never played before. Brandon Garrison stretching a little bit, big man.
And the smile on Mark Pope's face. You know, if your four-man is hitting threes, the lane opens up.
Yeah, second of the year for Garrison. He's there to rip that rebound away. The sophomore from Oklahoma City. Last year was at Oklahoma State. And this year he is surrounded by several quality veteran big men. Chandler offline on the 3. So Garrison just continues to grow and develop himself. Lesbert behind the back. This is out to Sam Flores. Flores on the floor for the first time today. Lily's 3 is offline. And Kentucky has got the huge lead. Garrison a little too nonchalant that time. Feeling pretty good after the triple.
You can't get casual. Can't get casual with the basketball. But tremendous cut by Landon Lewis on that baseline, getting underneath the defense to make yourself available for the dunk. And then Garrison lining him up. Number 10 in white, knocking down the 3.
Seven triples for Kentucky today. A little better from distance. Almonor wants it. Short. Butler tapped it. And it ricochets in off of a Bear defender. Everything going Kentucky's way now. Aaron Cooley off the bounce. Flores, chance to score. Is he going to look for it? Keeps the pivot foot. Cooley for 3. Here's Butler. Down and out. Almonor fighting, has it knocked away. Brown jumps on it. Chandler takes it away. Williams to the rim. Wow, hands and bodies flying everywhere there. There's a foul on Brown. Kentucky with the effort, with the hustle at every moment here. It's a 32-point lead for the Wildcats, largest of the afternoon. Coming up at 4 Eastern, so 15 minutes from tip in Provo over on ESPN2. Big 12 battle, so it's the Big 12 opener for Arizona State and BYU. That's at 4, 15 minutes from now. Is this the
ice cream break?
Custard? Yeah, the custard section over here.
How come we
Everybody
don't
over
have
here's
any
got
ice cream?
That's the only thing that's the final New Year's resolution. Next time we're here, I want
Well,
a little ice cream
I
here.
think that when Jay Billis is here, they bring him ice cream to the table. I'm going to have to put a request in.
That's right. That is that's pretty much a staple, isn't it? The ice cream delivered, great service.
The line to that ice cream stand or the custard stand, it's out the door.
Now, you got to tell me here. Are we going with the twist? Are we going vanilla chocolate twist?
Oh yeah, the swirl.
Well, why not? It's the best of both worlds.
Absolutely, yes. You don't have to pick one. Get a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Why not? Well, obviously, as you pointed out there, it's world famous. Not sure how official these ice cream rankings are, though. That three is good.
Oh, off the bounce. Yep. Off the bounce, too. That's nasty.
So Brea into double figures. He's knocked down several jumpers. That's his second triple. And Kentucky, my goodness, they're about to wave the white flag. It's an 18-2 Kentucky run. And so this rotation has continued to play hard here. They have just continued to build this now 35-point lead. Brown has got a lot of skill on its side of the floor, and you would expect that it's certainly going to be in that conversation right there to be a top 4 team in the Ivy League. You brought it up before. They were selected 3rd out of 8 in their preseason poll. That's one of the higher projected finishes for this program in a long time. Brea to the basket, and you got the big man Williams who found him. Columbia's had a great start. Yale, Harvard, Princeton, they're always in the conversation. But Mike Martin, he is as committed as any coach in America to deliver an Ivy League championship to his alma mater. Oh, a block at the rim. It was Dabo. Williams went tumbling. That is a foul, though, on Dabo. And how much body did he get here? Thought he got the ball cleanly.
Well, right down from us is Jack Goose Givens, who played at Kentucky. And one thing he wants to see from Amari Williams is for him, instead of the finesse for the layup, but to go up with the power, bring the slam off 2 feet. That'll help protect yourself a little bit.
I got to get Goose's book, by the way. There he is. One of the radio commentators next to Tom Leach.
He's sporting his national championship ring.
Yes, he was. You know, he was very gracious earlier today, taking some photos with the fans. Yeah, I believe he allowed a youngster to try it on.
Well, the youngster almost started to take off. He's like, whoa, 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 you got to give me that thing back.
I've never, you know me, I've never had the gall to ask if I could try on your championship ring there. You got, yeah, there it is.
Well, yeah. Well, at times
and you're like, yeah, you ain't getting a chance.
It's just at times in traveling, my hand swells and I can't actually get it off. And I try to pull it off now and sling it across
No.
But, yeah.
We've got several of those championship rings here right on press row.
After further review, the game clock's been moved to 6:25.
So thank you, Doug Schaus, moving the game clock back to 6:25. Hey, this is a place that you're very familiar with. You know, your history here. And it's a 35-point lead for Kentucky inside Rupp Arena, closing out its non-conference slate today before it opens against Florida in 4 days.
Well, this is a good bounce back after the speed bump that they hit against Ohio State. You're shooting 36%. That's right back on par for what they have been doing so far this season. They've gotten 22 3-point shots attempted, and what Mark Pope would like to see is 30 to 35.
Yeah.
So they're at 22. You got a little over 6 minutes left. Will those opportunities present themselves?
8 made threes today, as you pointed out, doubled up their total from 10 days ago. I think you're right. In a lot of ways, it did feel like maybe that Ohio State game felt like a speed bump. Will it be an outlier? We'll find out. Lilly off balance, buries it. Keno Lilly, while it has obviously been a difficult day for his team, he has got 16. And he is very likely to lead the league in scoring again. He did that last year. And this season he has increased the scoring volume. So there's Amari Williams being aggressive again.
When I watch Amari Williams, he's kind of Dwight Howard-esque. You know, with big body, agile. I think his ball handling is better. He finishes great. His defensive energy is tremendous.
Oh, well, Williams went for the gamble, and Lewis went to the rack, so he's going to the line for one more.
A little show and go again, and the finish by Lewis. He spent some time on the deck quite a bit.
I mean, it certainly feels like Landon Lewis in his breakout season to start the year. He appears like he is going to be one of the more skilled big men in the Ivy League this season. I mean, Brown, they've got a prolific Lilly. They've got an emerging post player, a versatile one like Lewis. You know, you obviously start to wonder what could have been if Owusu Anane was not lost for the season. Again, that's an all-conference double-figure scorer from a season ago and their most reliable inside threat.
Well, imagine the combination of having that kind of post presence with Keno Lilly Jr.
Yep.
I'm really going to miss that.
Off day, of course, today against Kentucky. In a lot of ways, just overmatched in terms of that athleticism, the size. Brea is going to have to hoist here. Gets it up. That's offline.
But the defense, the focus to detail, didn't see too many straight line drives, because that was something Ohio State was able to get on a regular. So really clean that up, especially paint protection.
The big issue for Brown today, man, it's 22 turnovers. That is way too many. Now, the good news for Kentucky, it's only given it away 5 times. That's it. That is a plus 17 turnover advantage. And, you know, against non-conference competition, you would expect to be, you know, having a positive ratio there. This is a pretty significant one. 4:30 to go. Second opportunity for Brown here on this side. Lilly looking a backdoor cut. And then a foul on Brea. So that is the 17th foul on Kentucky, and Lespert is going back to the free throw line. Well, Brea is going to get the ovation here. He checks out. 13 points for the very prolific jump shooter. And it is Trent Noah on the floor, the freshman from Harlan, Kentucky, in his first minutes.
In the second half, an area that Kentucky also cleaned up was on the glass. So they were down -11 in the first half. Now that they've cut that to 6.
Only other task left for Kentucky is going to get healthier. They're going to wait for Kriisa to rehab, to mend that foot. He'll be back, you would think, maybe halfway through SEC play. Of course, that's a bit up in the air. Things going right today on New Year's Eve for Kentucky. They're 3:55 away from closing out their non-conference slate. Kentucky up 33. They're 3:55 from closing it out. All right, CP. Colin Chandler on the left, okay? He's the freshman from Farmington, Utah. You got Andrew Carr on the right. That's the big man from Westchester, PA. So,
after further
2025 will now include wedding planning for both
3 points
of those
for Kentucky.
individuals. Getting engaged on the recent trip to New York City. Well done, fellas.
Got to talk to Andrew Carr, and he said that he had had the ring since August. Made the plan that he was going to propose because he knew that his family and his to-be fiance were going to be in town. And so both of these guys, Colin Chandler and Andrew Carr, they scoped out Central Park to find different areas where their photographers could be. They proposed on the same day, but about 2 hours apart.
I think the Carr was first, is that right?
I understand.
It matters. It's who did it first? I think they were in cahoots there for a little while.
Well, they both knew that they were going to do it.
They're going to pull the trigger. So congrats as well to Genevieve and Hannah.
Okay, but I have some words of advice for.
Oh, that three is down by the way. Trent Noah nails the three. Nicely done.
But for Andrew and for Colin,
what do you got for him?
You started out very romantic, proposing in Central Park. Once you get married, you must keep the romance going.
You're saying they've set the bar pretty high
They've set it high, but now they've got to just continue to follow that up every year.
Listen, you don't mind if I may need to call you and tap back into your
just
knowledge here, and
yes.
you know when I'm ready to pull the trigger myself. if I'm making any trips to New York anytime soon, you might know what I might be doing. Look, it's festive. You got the holiday time, New York City, Central Park. I get it. These are smart guys. They're smart guys here. Chandler, who again, remember he was committed to Mark Pope at BYU, and so he is the freshman doing the air quotes. He just came back from his 2-year mission, so he's engaged. He's got the mission done. Now he's got his 4 years at Kentucky. Let's take a moment, CP, take a look at what's coming up here. Let's remind you, the college football playoffs quarterfinals begin tonight. Penn State, Boise State at 7:30. Got Texas, Arizona State tomorrow, New Year's Day. The Rose Bowl at 5. And Notre Dame and Georgia close things out. We have 8 left standing.
Look, I'm curious with the Ohio State-Oregon game. The speed,
rematch.
Yeah, the speed of Oregon, the defense of Ohio State. I want to see that rematch.
Oregon got him by a field goal a couple of months ago, and maybe some botched late clock management by Ohio State in that one. Leads to the Oregon win. They go undefeated. They win the Big Ten. That's tapped out. Ball going back to Brown. Don't you? I love a good bracket. Here's our CFP bracket.
Yeah, the Notre Dame, Georgia.
What do you think? How do you think my Irish will fare here?
I think that the way that they're playing in their last game, I mean, they had it clicking on all cylinders, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, no doubt. Really strong win against Indiana. So let's see if they can get Georgia now several years later after they played them in the regular season. 2:10 to go. Kentucky by a whole lot.
You're not going to do the math.
Wow.
That's 33.
I need Mark Pope's calculator. Chandler, not that time. But it was a 12-point. Go ahead, Carol. It was a 12-point lead at half, and then Kentucky just ran right out of the gate, blew it really open.
Coming off the loss of Ohio State, before you start SEC play, you know, even if your offense isn't as clean as you would like it to be, if your defense took a step forward, that's what you have to be happy with as you approach the SEC season.
And look at the way Mark Pope's team begins. Florida coming at you. That is still the unbeaten Florida Gators. And they will be walking into a beehive here in Rupp in 4 days. You go to Georgia, you go to Mississippi State, and then a couple other ranked. Everybody is ranked in this league. You got 10 ranked teams. Everybody's going to go through brutal stretches.
4 of their first 5 games are against ranked opponents.
I take that back. I think the entire 18-game stretch is a brutal stretch. Every bit of that is brutal. It really is remarkable. You and I have been talking about this for weeks now. It's really remarkable just to see the league, how the league collectively has sustained the strong start. And it goes beyond just big wins. You can win big games, and you might have some slip-ups here and there. But there have been minimal slip-ups. In fact, the entire league has lost 4 games. That's it, against non-power conference teams. That's it, 4 games. One of them was Ole Miss losing to Memphis. Well, you want to call them a quote-unquote non-power conference team.
You look at Tennessee, ranked number 1. Alabama, one of the best offensive teams. Analytically, though, on paper, it's Auburn. It's a top team in the SEC. And Kentucky, they're going to be a force to deal with. They got everybody can shoot the 3.
Another one goes down. That's now 10 triples for Kentucky. So, Carolyn, they have gotten right after the 4 for 22 performance against Ohio State 10 days ago at Madison Square Garden. By the way, we've got UAB and North Texas coming up when we are done. That game will tip off at about 4:05. So that is coming up right after us. 1:15 left here in Lexington. So Kentucky with the 86 points. They are basically right at their season average. And I believe the crowd there was hoping for back-to-back misses at the line. Uchidi Uno, the sophomore who only played in 3 games has got 7 today, so well done there by the sophomore. You know, on Brown very quickly, a couple of significant road wins. They got off to that 7-3 start. They won at Vermont, at Canisius, beat a Rhode Island team that has gotten off to a really good start. So they're in a good position, this outcome notwithstanding. And I think it's very fair to think that we could see Brown once again playing in that Ivy League tournament. They very much seem to be a top half of the league team.
Well, the Ivy only take 4, but Brown, they host the Ivy League tournament this year.
It's big. Mike Martin wants that elusive championship that the program only has claimed 1. That's it, 1 basketball championship. Who's going to take it here with 40 seconds? This is Walker Horn. Pass to Garrison. Give him the assist.
Mark Pope loves it. He has a smile on his face. He's happy for his guys today.
Rochester's 3 is offline. And so Kentucky will ring in the new year with a very successful 11-2 non-conference slate. They got Florida here in 4 days, so look alive. The gauntlet that is SEC play is now upon us. Kentucky with a fine win today.
They picked up the defensive intensity, moved the ball offensively, and they took care of the ball. Kentucky only 5 turnovers on the day.
Brilliant effort, 88 points, right at their season average. And so Mark Pope's team is now 11-2. They close out non-conference play on a good note. Florida is here in 4 days. Good luck, SEC play around the corner. For Carolyn Peck and our entire great crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald saying so long from Lexington, UAB, North Texas. Coming up. Happy New Year, everyone.